As you can see, I am in the middle of packing because today is my last day in Paraguay and last day in Asuncion. I've been here for about 5 weeks now, and tomorrow I will take a bus from Asuncion to Foz do Iguaçu in Brazil, and I'll spend a couple weeks there going to Iguaçu Falls and seeing it from the Brazil side and the Argentina side. But yeah, today's my last day. It went by so fast, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what my expectations were about Paraguay and what I don't know, expectation versus reality, I guess. But yeah, I didn't really have any expectations coming to Paraguay or Asuncion. I guess I should really just say Asuncion because I haven't really seen any other part of the country. I didn't really have any expectations coming here because I knew I'd only ever known one person who had come here, and that was for the Peace Corps. And so I knew that Paraguay as a country wasn't really a popular tourist destination. And even in the city, when you look up things to do in Asuncion, there wasn't a whole lot, so I figured that my stay here would be pretty mellow. I think overall my expectation was that I would come here, I would take care of Bob the dog, and that I would just kind of get used to working here. I didn't really expect to make any friends or have any kind of social life. So I'd say my expectations were pretty low coming here, but I also think that was the right way to start because it definitely exceeded my expectations. So the worst part of my trip was probably the first day. I had just come to the country after back-to-back red-eye flights. I hadn't slept in a couple days. I was really, really tired. And then I get to the country and I didn't realize that you need to purchase a visa. So it's visa on arrival, and it's $160. The airport doesn't have an ATM, and I literally had $180 on me, and one of my 20s had a rip in it, so they wouldn't take it. So I almost wasn't even able to enter the country, and it was a rough first day. And also my flight was delayed, or I missed my flight coming here, so I ended up arriving a day later. And so the start was a little bit rough, but I have to say since then it's definitely gone up from there. In my first week here, Bruno introduced me to his family, and so his sister had a barbecue at her house, and I was able to meet his parents and his brother and sister and their families. And ever since then, I cannot thank Bruno and his family enough for making me feel so welcome and so supported. And even when Bruno was gone, they were checking in every couple days, making sure everything was okay, asking if I wanted to go to the mall to get if I needed anything, if I needed any groceries, and they are just such amazing people and really, really made me feel like I was a part of their family. So thank you for that if you're watching. And then through Bruno's brother, I was able to meet a handful of Americans here, and basically through kind of connection to connection, I was able to meet a handful of people here and had a little bit of a social life, and to have people to go out swimming with, or to the museum, or just go out to dinner and really connect. And yeah, I'm really grateful for everyone that I've met so far. And just to think we met in this random country in the middle of South America is pretty cool and pretty special. And so I guess my other, looking at expectations, I'd say in a lot of ways it feels like I was meant to come here first. I knew that I wanted this to be a place to adjust to living in a new country. And so whenever I've traveled before, the first day in a new country is always kind of the hardest. it's just really overwhelming because you don't really have a feel for what the environment is like. Everything is like literally foreign, and so I really needed this time to adjust to living in another country, and I'm just really grateful that I had Bruno's apartment and it was really quiet and safe and had good Wi-Fi and it was the perfect place to just get used to, like, how do you live somewhere new? How do you cook groceries with ingredients that you can't even read the instructions on how to prepare? So it was definitely a learning curve of kind of relearning how to cook, but without a recipe, and just getting used to being in a new environment. The other thing I really needed was a place to get used to working remotely. Initially I thought like I'm only gonna be working 20 hours a week, like it's gonna be super easy, I'm gonna have all this free time. But now that I've worked like 20 to 30 hours a week, it definitely doesn't feel like I have a lot of free time. It still feels very much like work is a really structured part of my day. So I work Monday through Thursday, sometimes on Fridays in the afternoons here. And coming here and working has really made me rethink how I'm going to do the second part of my trip, which will be in Brazil. Originally I was going to do a workaway type situation where you basically go and you volunteer in exchange for accommodations. And after working, I realized that like if I'm volunteering and I'm working, like I'm gonna have no chance to see the city that I'm staying in at all. And since like the dollar is pretty strong, and hostels are generally really cheap, like it just didn't make sense to, be volunteering in exchange for accommodation. So instead, I completely restructured my entire trip in Brazil to be able to pretty much just see all of the places that I was really interested in seeing in a few months, and traveling more on a week-to-week basis instead of a month-to-month basis. And it feels like the right decision. Like it feels like this is the path I meant to be on. Instead of just going to Brazil and seeing a couple of places, now I have an opportunity to see a lot more and to meet up with friends, and I'm really excited about the Brazil part. But I also feel like had I not come to Paraguay to kind of test out this part-time remote work, like I would have never known that. Like I would have a completely different trip ahead of me. And so I'd say overall, like, even though I didn't do a whole lot, like I'm sure you can probably tell from my other videos, like there wasn't a ton of like stuff to do and record doing. So I hope the next couple months is pretty action-packed and I have a lot more content and a lot more exciting things to show. But I'd say like Paraguay was the perfect place to really kind of like relax and adjust to this new life, because if I would have just showed up in Brazil, like I would be so overwhelmed right now with like there would have just been like too much stuff going on. So I really, really needed this period here. Like I'd say everything, like this has been a really big learning process for me, and learning a lot about myself. And I'm really grateful that I had the chance to come here. I'm grateful for Bruno and his family, and having this really great apartment where I can just sit out on the balcony and watch the sunrise and drink coffee, and that, I had a chance, like even with Bob, like it was nice to have kind of an excuse to get up and get outside every day, even on days where I didn't really feel like it. And it just, like everyone that I've met and everything that I've done, I'm really, really grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. I'm trying to think what else, but I think that's, I mean, if you have the chance to come to Paraguay, I would recommend coming. Like, why not? Now that I have a 10-year visa, I hope that I will come back and use it again. But yeah, it was a really cool place to be for a couple weeks, and I'm really excited for the next couple weeks, the next couple months in Brazil. Yeah, and the other thing that was cool is Bruno gave me this shirt yesterday. So this is a local brewery called Palo Santo, and they have a beer line or brand that's called Nitsuga. And Bruno actually took the picture that's on the label for the beer. So he gave me the shirt yesterday, and it's a really cool souvenir from my time here. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Like, definitely, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that I had a few weeks here. So thank you to Bruno, and thank you to Bruno's family and everyone that I've met here so far. I really hope that one day we get to meet again. So the next videos will be Iguaçu Falls in Brazil, or maybe Itaipu Dam. I don't know. It'll be somewhere in Brazil, I'm pretty sure. So stay tuned.